What's up, my wizards? It's Dev from MTG here with
Tony
from the same place, it turns out. And we're here to do set reviews for this set that just come out, Battle for Zendikar. It just got spoiled. The entire thing went Friday morning. And here we are Sunday doing set reviews because we had to get this out as quickly as possible. We're going to do, like we normally do, sort of trademark for the channel, in reverse order from how everybody else does it. You know, usually you see white and then blue, and green last, and then colorless and land, and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to go in reverse order, and we're going to start with lands and probably Eldrazi today. So let's go ahead and kick it off.
First off, we get dual lands.
Seriously, these dual lands look pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah. Having to have two basic lands in play, it's not a problem whatsoever.
You're
just fine with that. At the same time, you can also crack a fetch on your opponent's turn and get one of those.
That's what I was going to say.
You'll be able to untap. It's fine.
Just EOT on your opponent's turn, go grab one with the fetch land, and it's like it didn't even come into play tapped. You know, more or less. What did you say Mike Flores said about these?
This is some of the best standard fixing that we've had in a while.
Gonna miss the temples. Gonna miss the temples a lot, but at the end of the day, those just always kind of felt like just coming to play tapped dual lands, you know what I mean? Like, the Scribe is really cool, don't get me wrong, gonna miss it, especially in control builds. Yeah. But this is, a lot of the time, these lands are gonna come into play untapped. But yeah, I mean, we just had to touch on that real quick. We're getting dual lands, don't worry, we're getting them. So. Yeah. Alright, next we're going to talk about some like actual rare lands that aren't just like, here's some dual lands, we get them every set. Yeah. This is Ally Encampment, and I just love it. I'm totally in love with this. You know, it's cool that they're actually pushing allies a lot this time around. Like, there was a standard allies deck back in the day, and it was okay. But I feel like this allies deck takes a completely different form, and it's got a lot of really good tools, this being like one of the best for the deck. You know, a lot of people are saying 4 and 5 color allies. This definitely facilitates that. So. Also, the other ability on it, pretty good. Oh, yeah. Saves it from removal and stuff like that. And a lot of the allies have, like, enter the battlefield effects, you know, so you can get more value out of those. So that's, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fine. It's still good.
It's great. I think it's great. I think it's great.
Now we've got Sanctum of Ugin. I wish this was just any colorless card instead of having to be colorless creature.
It's lame.
But at the same time, I get it. It's fine. In Limited, this will help you get to those big Eldrazi spells that you only have one of that you want to be able to cast. If you have drawn the game out that long anyways and whatnot. Like, it's possible in Limited. Yeah.
Limited's going to be really slow this time around.
Yeah.
It's very, very slow, I think, at least. You know, in Limited, people are going to be building like the black-white allies deck with the vampires and such. But there's a couple of low-to-the-ground Limited decks that we see. But for the most part, I think it's going to be a really slow Limited environment, which I actually like. Yeah. I like just playing huge things. You know, that's always fun. Sanctum, the one like problem with Sanctum is if you sacrifice it to go tutor something, like you just lost one of the mana that you can that helps you play the big thing you're tutoring up. So it's kind of like counterintuitive, but I still think in some decks this will definitely be a 1 of, and then some of the Eldrazi decks it might even be like a 3 or 4 of. Like, I can totally see that. So probably decent. Yeah. Here is Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Shrine of the Forsaken Gods looks again like a 1 or 2 of in a lot of decks. In Eldrazi decks it looks like a 4 of. Yeah. You know, definitely. But I think some control decks might want to play this as 1 of.
The other thing is there's a lot of land ramp spells to help you get those 7 lands out there right now. Yeah,
7 lands is less than it looks like.
Yeah, so with that could totally be a 4 of in plenty of different just ramp decks.
Just ramp decks, yeah, exactly. I mean, you think about it this way, if you can flip a Nissa, you can get 2 mana out of this. Yeah. So that's pretty good. And it just makes your, you know, if you have 7 lands out, you have 7 mana at the very least. So this gives you 9, you know, or at least, you know, another 1. Yeah. Because this counts it towards that 7 land counts. It's really like having 8 mana. But at that point, you can cast a ton of the ridiculous Eldrazi in the set. So it's probably going to see some play is all I'm saying. And in other formats too. You know, obviously it'll see playing Commander like a lot of these cards will. This looks like this feels like a Commander set to me in some ways. You know? But, which I'm not saying anything's wrong with Commander.
No, it's nothing wrong with Commander. But there are a lot of decks out there that I've seen on the rumor mill and whatnot that say that they like this set for Commander, so that's fine.
Definitely.
Commander just got a lot of
interesting pieces,
and some lands and whatnot, so it's
Commander players.
It's cool. Next up, we've got
drum roll.
Lumbering Falls. There we go.
Yeah, Lumbering Falls is probably the better man land.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Well, to a degree, I actually think they're both fine. They're both great. We got the Awaken mechanic.
Yeah.
So with white black, you're going to be an Esper with the new Awaken Cancel.
Yeah.
And you can awaken the man land and
Yeah.
put tokens on it to make its lifelink ability much more relevant for you, plus it'll be a blocker. Like, there's so many good things about that.
Yes.
And the hexproof one is great for Sultai and Bant and other things that just
Yeah.
don't
Teamer
have access to
even,
the black. So,
pretty good for Teamer.
Yeah.
There's lots of cool things. I was saying ostensibly the blue-green one looks better, but the white-black one will probably see more play, just because I think that more decks are going to be playing those colors, But I'm not totally sure about that. I will say, too, though, that sort of in like a Teamer or Sultai build, it's good to have a 3/3 hexproof, sure, but in like an Esper control build, it's really nice to have a 2/3 lifelinker that also functions as a dual land.
Yeah.
That's cool. Of course, in control, it sucks to lose, your black-white source, your dual land. But at the same time, just being able to, block very well and gain life, and stuff like that. Control decks want that very, very much. So I could see that the black-white one, Shambling Vent, may see a little bit more play at the end of the day. But in a lot of decks, I like the blue-green one, too. So, I mean, these are both really good abilities. And I can't wait till we get to see the other three. There better be 3 more of these. Please. Give us all the things we want. Next up is, let's see, what is this stupid thing called? Spawning Bed. It is a stupid thing. It's pretty amazing, honestly. We literally 5 seconds before we started recording, we were talking about these lands. And I was like, yeah, it produces 2 things. It's pretty good for 6, And Tony's like, it produces 3, idiot. And I had to look at it. I was like, holy crap, that does produce 3. So that seems good.
Yeah.
Honestly. Again, for control decks, too. Just a one of, As long as you have 4.
Huh?
As long as you already have 4 mana.
Yeah.
It should have just reprinted Mind Stone.
Pathway arrows. Is it arrows or
I think
arrows?
it's arrows. Yeah, you're using
Okay.
multiple arrows to do this.
Alright. Pathway arrows.
You're mostly going to be shooting at
Sorry.
Eldrazi, like you need more than 1 arrow. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's fine in limited. I don't really care for it in any form of standard.
Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. I mean, I'm not going to get crazy on you guys. You know me. This looks pretty substandard. But, like, it just costs 1 mana.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always tap down huge Eldrazi. Alright?
Or their biggest gap period.
Or you can kill... You can kill smaller dudes. It's versatile. I don't think it warrants a slot in anything. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
But, like, this is one of those cards that I think is a little better than it looks. But it's probably not standard playable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just... in limited, it's great. It's great. Great
Oh,
card
yeah.
in limited. Great card in limited. But I just... There's something about it that I don't hate. So... just remember that I said that. I'm not saying this is going to be a standard playable card. It's not. It's not. But just in case it is. Just in case you see some sideboard play or something. Just remember that I said that. Up next is Pilgrim's Eye. This is a reprint, and it will be good in limited. This is a card we can say will definitely be good in limited and nowhere else.
Yeah.
Pilgrim's Eye. So we can probably move on.
After that, we've got Slabhammer, and that's something else.
The name is the coolest part about it.
It's great and limited because it gives you some interaction with your coming to play tapped lands that let you have effects off of them and whatnot, being able to bounce one to your hand.
Seems good.
Yeah. Also, landfall triggers in limited, which is great.
Hedron Blade, another fine limited equipment.
Indeed.
Nowhere
All day.
else. Nowhere else, but it seems like this could actually tear up limited.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But aside from that, it's jank. Alright, we still gotta do Gold and Eldrazi, which is where all the awesome stuff is. So start getting excited. This is Omnath, Locus of Rage, which is like the coolest name ever. And probably we'll see some standard play. Almost certainly, right? I mean, we're playing Atarka in that slot, the 7 mana green-red slot. But in the landfall deck, maybe? How do you... Just tell me what you feel.
Landfall deck.
Stonewalling
Sure.
me over there.
I've also been doing an elemental theme deck, and it was nice in that.
Of course.
So elemental and landfall decks alike all day. Sure.
Yeah. But nothing really... I mean, I wouldn't play this over Atarka unless we were doing like a landfall theme or something like that. Maybe
Yeah.
elementals.
All day Atarka's still going to be the bigger, better creature there.
Sorry.
This one is just awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Landfall deck has tricks to where you can make it a 7/7. And, you know, 9/9 even. So Animist Awakening goes pretty well with that. But I am not sold that it's like super constructed playable.
I think it is somewhat super constructed playable. Not super, just constructed
Cut the
for
super.
for the elemental deck, the elemental theme deck that I was talking about. In that, there are a few landfall trigger effects in there, just because there's some elementals and whatnot. But more importantly, just having elementals to go on with Omnath, and we have a nice curve for it this way. We've got Undergrowth Champion at 3, we've got this at 4, we've got Whisperwood Elemental at 5.
Yeah, Whisperwood's awesome.
We've got, I think we've got a 6-mana one.
We've got the 6-mana thing. I've been wanting your opinion on this. We'll get to it later.
Yeah.
But it's a 6-mana thing that's like 5 power. When it comes into play, you regrow something. When it dies, you exile it and regrow something.
And that, and then Omnath, and now we just have all the different elementals, just a complete curve laid out before us, and it's awesome.
I hadn't really thought about the curve of it. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea. And like earlier on in the curve, before the 4-drop slot, you could always play like Rampers and stuff like that.
Before the 3-drop slot, like the 3-drop slot has Undergrowth Champion. The 2-drop slot and 1-drop slot are completely open.
Rattleclaw, Whisper of the Wilds, and stuff like that.
And Blisterpod.
Yeah, Blisterpod. Blisterpod's good. Blisterpod's good. Well, green's good in the set. But we're talking about gold. So this card, I mean, you can go either way, and it's good and limited.
Next up, we've got Grove Tender Druids, and this is interesting. I wish it put allies into play instead of green plants.
Isn't that weird?
But
it does have synergy with the one, again, green thing in the set that makes other plants and gives plants boosts, but, you know, it's probably terrible.
Yeah.
Next up is Drana's Emissary, and this will go in the sort of budget Black-White Allies deck all day. And it's pretty good and limited, I would say. But that's probably the extent of it, honestly, you know. Yeah. It might go in Mardu Allies. And again, it's really cool, especially limited, if you're playing with the things that, like, whenever you gain life, do a thing. This assures us 1 trigger every turn of that. So that's cool, too. Yeah. Fairly costed.
Good representation for the ally archetypes all the way around.
Yep. I think this is a fine card in that, and it may go in the budget, you know, version of Black-White Allies or even Mardu Allies, and it is a cool card. I think it's a cool card more than anything. It's balanced very well, but as far as constructed playability, I'm just
Next up, we've got Resolute Blade Master, and this guy's bad.
Yeah, he's probably bad. He's a double strike guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool that it's whenever he enters play.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, it's not when he attacks or anything like that. It's cool when he enters play. So he is instantly, in my opinion, better than the 5 mana all your guys have double strike enchantment from a couple of sets ago. You know, with Dragons we got that. He's instantly better than that, and people like that card. That's a pet card for a lot of people. You know, so this looks instantly better than that, and we're able to not just when he comes into play, but whenever an ally comes into play, that seems interesting. You know,
I mean, in limited, I think it's fine because of that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm talking constructed.
Yeah, we're talking constructed.
Yeah, in limited, it's very good. Yeah. But in constructed, I think that it could be like a 1 or 2 of in that allies deck. But it's not going to be in every allies deck. I think it's going to be sort of a personal preference thing until we figure out if it's really good or not. But I'm leaning towards no. To be honest with you, I'm leaning towards no. This card's not great. At the end of the day, it is a 5 mana 2/2.
It's a 5 mana 2/2.
You know, it's just
this is true.
Does not look desirable. But if you play it as a spell, it's kind of okay.
If you play it as a spell, it's absolutely fine.
Coming up next is Sky Rider Elf. I believe this is the last pure gold card. Again, Tony and I have sort of differing opinions on this. I don't think it's great. Tony thinks it could see some standard play. Now, 2 mana 2/2 flyer, 3 mana 3/3 flyer. That's good. But after that, I just
fair enough.
It loses me.
The only reason I think it might see some standard play is it did a lot of work for a guy in a Soul Tie deck that I faced on Cockatrice while playtesting BFC stuff, and it was fine. It did a lot of work for him.
The one cool thing about this is that, yes, it's a 2 mana 2/2, 3 mana 3/3, but later on in the game, let's say you draw it on turn 10, you can play a 7 power flyer. Yeah. So it's versatile. It's versatile. So I definitely see some pluses, but it looks. Maybe I'm just going by looks alone. I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but the cut of this thing's jib, it has the jib of a never gonna see constructed play card. But But that's not a very intellectual argument. Just, well, it doesn't look good because it doesn't look good. That's stupid for me to say, but I will have to be proven wrong on this. I'm not seeing how it's constructed playable.
Next up, we've got Kiora, Master of the Depths, and what a sweet planeswalker she is.
Kiora's finally good.
Yeah,
Kiora's finally good.
Teamer and Sultai decks alike are gonna love her.
Yeah. Yeah, Sultai.
All day.
That second ability in a Sultai deck is just gravy. Like, that's great.
Get more activations off your Jace and stuff like that. Like, all day, she's just great.
Yeah, people are already talking, like, in Teamer, what you can do, in any deck, really, with her, is, second turn Mana Ramper guy, third turn her, then you do her +1, and you can untap the mana guy in a land, then tap those two to play the Beast Caller or whatever it is, Savant, Beast Caller Savant, and then tap him to play a 1-drop.
Yep.
So, like, this is all on your third turn. It sounds pretty sweet to me, honestly. So, I like everything Kiora does. I'm not sure how often you're going to hit that ultimate, but who cares? Who even cares about Planeswalker ultimates, right?
Well, I mean, her ultimate's pretty friggin' sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty dumb. But her first two abilities are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with like a Cynic ramp deck.
Yeah.
Into Eldrazi because of her.
I can see that.
Yeah. Splashing blue for that. You got the blue-green manland that can help with that. You've got, what else is there? Yavimaya Coast.
Yeah, Yavimaya Coast, legal to play.
Yeah, so, we've got things that can help for the mana base there.
Cynic Eldrazi ramp.
Yeah.
That's a cool deck. A really cool deck, actually. But Kiora, it's all that being said, by the way, probably still like my third favorite Planeswalker in the set of 3 Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even as good as she is, she's not the best Planeswalker in the set.
Mm-mm. Up next, we've got the Eldrazi. We've got Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger.
The big boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. The
We've
head
had this guy
honcho.
for a long time. And
The El Jefe Eldrazi. It'll probably see constructed play just because it is what it is.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a card doesn't look this powerful without seeing some play. When Ugin came out, everyone was like, well, this card costs too much. It's not going to see any students. No, it's terrible. And, like, everyone plays it. Like, it's a 1 of in a lot of decks, maybe a 2 of in some even. So, I think this is going to be the same idea here, When it comes out, everyone's going to try to make it work, and there's going to be this consensus of this card's bad because it costs too much. And then it will suddenly be a 1 of in things.
Yeah.
And see the Unwritten, by the way. Just throwing that out there. See the Unwritten.
Yeah.
Up next is Void Winnower, another one of my favorite cards in the set, but not maybe not one of the best cards in the set, but one of my favorites. Personally, it just does the funniest thing ever, right? I mean, first of all, this is fantastic in Commander, and we'll see a lot of play there, so we want to just touch on that real quick. And second of all, okay, so by the time you're able to play it, you don't care that they can't cast Siege Rhino anymore, like they've already casted Siege Rhino, it's fine. You do kind of care whether or not they can attack with things.
Yeah.
And you do care whether or not they can, use certain pieces of removal. They can still ruin his path, they can still end hostilities, but they can't cast Languish, and they can't cast 2 mana removal, So that becomes a thing. For instance, he has protection from 2 and 4 mana removal, 6 mana removal and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Not only does he have protection from them, he straight up stops them from casting them. Usually a creature with protection from black would still be killed by a Languish, you know what I mean, or something like that. But he's even better than that. So there's really cool things about this card. I could go on all night because I've been thinking about Void Winter for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, he costs 9 mana. That's a problem.
9 mana.
9 mana.
But it's 1 less than Ulamog, so there's still potential.
There's that, right?
Somehow there's still potential.
I do worry that by the time you get to 9, every word of text in the card is obsolete.
Yeah.
You know?
After that, we've got Oblivion Sower. And...
That's a good card.
Yeah, Oblivion Sower. It's
Sorry.
6 mana, 5/8. It's absolutely fine. That Exile top 4, you're usually going to be able to get 1 to 2 lands off of it.
At least the one.
Not only that, but Delve is in the format, so you can get any of the lands they delve away.
And fetch lands are the most delved away thing in the entire format. So, I mean, especially against control decks and stuff, you're gonna get a land or 2 off the guy. And not only does he help your landfall triggers, but the card is good in ramp decks, period, that don't even play landfall triggers.
Yeah.
The card is interesting in control-y builds. I'm not talking about straight up counter your spells control builds. Like an Abzan control or something like that wants to play some of these higher costed cards, but just it's a way to get to those. It's a way to get to those. It's a huge guy that ramps you. sometimes more than one.
Yeah.
So I like the guy. 6 mana is really not that much to ask. It's not, people are like, card goes a lot of mana. Card's fine. That's 6 mana is not that bad.
Yeah. We play Dragonlord Silumgar the Drifting Death.
Yeah.
It's
We
fine.
play 6 mana cards. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Here's Gruesome Slaughter, and probably good in limited, but I'm just not really sure about its constructed playability.
In limited, it is fine removal.
Yeah.
That's really what it's good for. It's just fine removal.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it's only good like after you've got a couple of your huge Eldrazi dudes out.
Yeah.
It's just that. Obviously, it's again it removes creatures. That seems good in limited, but it's not, I'm not really seeing any constructed playability on the card.
Nope. After that, we've got Endless One, and I was a little disappointed with the Eldrazi just because I didn't see one thing. I wanted them to do a sort of a, I think it's Hydras that have done this before, where, or what's the thing? Hornet's Nest, like Hornet's Nest, where you put X mana into it for a big Eldrazi, and when it dies, you get
It
that
splits off.
Yeah, you'd have that many like Scion pods or whatever.
That'd be great if you could get a bunch of Scions up. That would be that'd be unstoppable.
Yeah.
I'm a 5 mana guy that leaves behind 3 to 4 Eldrazi Scion tokens when he dies. That'd be great. Great. Endless One is cool though in that you're always going to get 2 mana 2/2, 3 mana 3/3. Any deck, any deck in limited can play it.
Yeah,
So-
and it's fine. It'll be good for you, early game or late game, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So
Probably good, but all in all, probably no constructed play.
no.
This maybe. This is
has
Blight
some
Herder.
great potential.
Yeah, Blight Herder has all the potential, I would say. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's actually that hard to activate, that ability. So, and basically getting 7 power for 5 mana that gives you 3 more mana is it's so good. I mean, that seems like good stats to me. Is all I'm saying.
It's a great way to sort of push the Eldrazi theme into Standard Song.
Yeah.
Because 4 and 5 mana is usually the tipping point for things like that.
That is true. Yeah.
But they gave us, 2 mana dorks in this. Plus, we've got some pretty good ones already. So being able to ramp into this, it's 4 power. It's going to set off your Ferocious for Whisper of the Wilds.
Yeah.
So it'll help ramp more and everything. Like, there's very good potential for just green Eldrazi ramp.
Yeah, I'd love to just try that out. I've been looking at that too, just green Eldrazi and nothing else, And it's looks interesting just because of all the ramp that we get, And if we can, again, it may take some doing to actually activate its ability, and everyone's down on that, yeah. But again, delves in the format. I don't see it being that hard for the next year. Channeler, who I think is decent and limited again to help us get to those huge drops.
All day.
But we'll see no standard play at all, obviously. But again, good to see those, good to see that we can get to those big drops.
After that, we've got Sire of Stagnation. Now we're on to the multicolored Eldrazi type spells. I love the card in Limited. Absolutely. There's a potential for a Grixis Eldrazi thing in Limited, and this goes right into there, and it's just sweet. It's awesome. I love it. But in Standard, just...
Yeah.
I want it to be there, but it just...
First of all, two things. In Standard, in all Magic,
yeah,
they have to play lands.
Yeah.
They have to play lands. It's entirely possible that you'll get a couple of triggers off of this, and that's 4 cards that you've just drawn.
True.
And, you exile 4 things, which will fuel the Eldrazi strategy, if you can do that. But, they have to play lands. Problem is it costs 6. It costs 6 mana. And in, Constructed, there's really not too much that happens after, 6 drop.
Yeah.
Where they don't even, they can even not play lands and be fine in a lot of decks,
Yeah.
They just hold lands in their hand.
So...
I don't know. I don't really see that it's better than a lot of the stuff in the set.
Exactly.
So. Here is Duststalker, and I actually think this is good. I think it's really, really good, even if you don't play any other Eldrazi in the entire deck. Because basically, you're just dashing him in.
Yeah.
You're just dashing him. And, he's even sort of better in that case because he survives, sorcery speed removal and mass removal and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and 4 mana, 5 power haste guy, that's... I like that a lot.
Yeah. I'm totally on board with this in Limited.
Oh, wait, I'm talking about Constructed, sir.
Oh.
I'm talking about Constructed, Standard playable. That's what I think. A 4 mana, 5 power guy with haste is good by itself. Plus, even if, it's sort of better if we don't have other Eldrazi at the top of the curve in, a Rakdos aggro. Mm-hmm. I'm on board with this all day. I think it's better without other Eldrazi.
Okay.
Seriously, I like the card a lot.
Up next, we've got probably my pet card for the set.
It's probably both. It's in our top 10s. Both of our top 10s, definitely.
Brutal Expulsion. And there's so much good about this card. It helps deal with Hangerback and 2 Hangerbacks at the same time, potentially.
Yep.
It gets around the uncounterable clause on Exquisite Firecraft.
Yeah, that's true. Returns it to the hand.
Yeah, there are people talking about this in Modern for the same